There comes a point for a lot of coaches where we just feel our current toolkit is leaving clients stuck. We can see the depth of transformation that client could experience, and our current tools and strategies aren't getting them there. Then we stumble across something on social media or on TikTok or on YouTube that we think, that looks like a great technique. I'll try that with Fred next week. But here's a massive problem with that approach. Just because somebody is teaching something on social media or the internet, it doesn't mean they know what they're doing. They might have experienced it for themselves on a retreat or in a therapy session. I see this a lot with therapeutic tools, where somebody's had a therapy session and they found there was a strategy that really helped them. And so they share it on social media and they're kind of then teaching it. And I even see people running courses in therapeutic tools, paid courses, that they've had no training in how to use safely. Yeah? To become a therapist is usually a 3-year course with supervision, with countless client case studies, making sure that you are safe and effective. But nowadays you can gain similar information without the safety from the internet. So what happens here is you don't understand necessarily what needed to be in place to make that technique safe. This happens a lot in the coaching world with things like expressing emotions or looking to the past for somebody responsible or to blame for a current situation, looking at childhood dynamics. All of this is therapy. Yeah. If you are doing an archaeological dig in a client's past, it's therapy, not coaching. But it can also happen with a lot of somatic tools, so body work tools, whether that is things like tapping that somebody might have experienced for themselves and gone, I love this, and suddenly they're marketing themselves as an EFT therapist, emotional freedom technique with no training. And it can also happen a lot with breath work. This one is a real bugbear for me. I spent 3 years studying to become a formally qualified meditation teacher working in breath work. And one of the things that was drummed into us over and over again is how a lot of these techniques, particularly those with breath retention, where you're holding your breath, are very advanced, very potent. And if you use them with a client who's got a past history of trauma, which the World Health Organization says is about 70% of adult clients, it risks an abreaction. It risks re-triggering that trauma because it's making the nervous system go into fight, flight, freeze, fawn, panic. So for all of these techniques, you need to know what are the foundations that need to be in place to make this safe. You need to be able to teach them in a way that goes beyond just having used them a bit for yourself. You need to know how to make them safe for the vast majority of clients in the vast majority of situations. You need to know how to spot, before it becomes a huge issue, if a client is having an unexpected reaction, which particularly with body type techniques or anything that's going to go deep into old emotions, is incredibly common. You need to be able to know how to get the client safe and grounded. And if we're looking at some of the somatic work and some of the breathing techniques, some of them are actually contraindicated for a wide range of clients, with everything from breathing issues like asthma through to glaucoma or high blood pressure. They can actually create physical problems in the body if not done well. So my invitation to you is, by all means, be inspired by what you're finding on the internet. But before you go and play with it with clients, make sure you've had reputable training, as we do in my master coach programs, that you've had training from somebody who's actually been taught how to teach it, so that the person learning how to teach it to their clients can do so safely and effectively. And there is another layer to this. If you're out there playing with tools you learned from the internet, and you're a coach and you have insurance, which you should have as a coach, you might not be insured if something goes wrong and you were using tools you weren't actually trained to use. Because insurers are risk averse. They can see the risk of the problems. And if you're looking for a training course in these tools, really drum into, how did that person train to be able to train you? Because the other side that we're seeing of quite a dark coin at the moment is AI-based training courses for coaches, where it's just ChatGPT or an equivalent pulling together a load of stuff from the internet that's then packaged up quite prettily, that people are then taking as gospel, and because it looks good, they think it's safe. So do your due diligence. By all means, be inspired by the internet, but do not use those tools and strategies with clients unless you've actually had proper training in how to do so in ways that are safe and effective.